Well, coming live from 1950 South Shepherd. Here in El Reno, I have a special guest, kind of like what we did last week when we had the ladies come on. We appreciate them coming on. But would you like to introduce yourself, brother?
Yes, my name is Nathan Littlehawk. I am the Victims Services Coordinator for the Cheyenne and Arapaho tribes of Oklahoma.
Well, thank you. Thank you for the work that you do. First and foremost, understanding, what a person has to go through to qualify for your services. I mean, that's got to be a lot. It's something I wouldn't wish on anybody. But I'm very happy that our people have you all in their corner. Whenever something like this comes up in their life, I appreciate too that you all trust us with your message. That means a lot to me. That you all have came to us and were willing to put your trust in what we do over here. Because we just some guys that figured out how to turn this thing on, and we get to talking, and a lot of good things have happened because of that. So, a bit more about your program.
Yes, we service 11 counties here in Oklahoma. Beckham, Blaine, Canadian, Custer, Dewey, Ellis, Kingfisher, Major, Washita, Woodward, Roger Mills, And also we are a part of a bigger coalition along with NAV, which is Native Alliance Against Violence. And they are based out of Norman, Oklahoma. And they collaborate with all 29 tribes that are in within Oklahoma that do have victim services or domestic violence or sexual assault programs within their communities. And we're all, interconnected. And we are, the Cheyenne Arapaho tribes are in Region 1, which I think there are 5 regions in Oklahoma. And the ones that are in Region 1 with us, we also collaborate with are the Apaches, the Caddos, the Comanches, the Delawares, the Fort Sill Apaches, the Iowas, you got to say it just right. The Wichitas and the affiliated tribes that are in the western and southwestern Oklahoma, the area.
Well, that's great. Like I was saying, I really appreciate what you all do. And I know it's a lot for a person to qualify, but just knowing that they have you all to turn to, I mean, that's got to be a pretty powerful coalition to have. All these different tribes, with the same goal. So I mean, that I think that's amazing. It is, these type of situations. It's great to see natives helping out natives. And I mean, we were saying this last week that it's not a native thing; it's a human thing. People offering help, to maybe a situation that, maybe nobody else thinks that anybody else would understand, but unfortunately, it's way too common. It's way too common amongst natives, that these type of issues still exist. And I'm just glad to see that we're bringing more awareness to how to combat these. How to bring more awareness that isn't normal, and I didn't understand, as I was explaining to you earlier, that these things can be handed down. Yes. If you, that's one thing that I felt like I wanted to really emphasize was, you can hand these issues down to your sons and daughters, and the same problems that you're having in your life, you can actually hand them down, whether you're the victim or the batterer. So uh, I don't want to make anybody, I'm not trying to call anybody out, but it wasn't until it became an issue in my life, and I had to figure these things out the hard way. So I'm glad that your office is willing to get a PSA out there about what you all do, and about you know I would love to hear more solutions on how we can figure this thing out, because just like substance abuse, it probably goes hand in hand with domestic violence. And it's crazy how I grew up in a household where using substances was very normal. And then it was nothing for like my dad and my uncle to just break out in a fight, and you know, like just in there moving some furniture, like it was nobody's business, and it was just normal. It was a normal thing, and I remember being scared, not knowing what was fixing to happen, and I just, like I was saying, I can't be more grateful enough for what you all do. So we were also talking about something that recently came up. We were talking about it yesterday, as a matter of fact. And you know, uh, I know that it's hard for me not to say my personal views or how this type of thing makes me feel. But I mean, if anything, we got to stick to the business of the matter.
Yes.
So would you like to maybe give a little bit more detail about uh, I can't remember what it was called now. 434.
Oh yes, you're talking about the Senate bill
Yeah, the Senate bill.
484. This just came across my desk this morning, and I just had to look into it because it pertains to a lot of partners that we work with. It basically runs down, talks about making shelters, homeless shelters, victims services, domestic violence shelters, illegal in the state of Oklahoma if they are in an area or a town or city that's under 300,000. So, which particularly numbers it down to only two cities in Oklahoma, which is Tulsa and Oklahoma City. Any other city is way under 300,000. And I believe they're talking about it's going to take effect in November 1st, 2025. I got to look more into it, but this is a major concern. Now, with us as being sovereign people, it probably doesn't really pertain to us, but it does pertain to a lot of partners that we collaborate with. You know, we got some shelters that are remote, outside of Tulsa, outside of Oklahoma City. I'm not going to put any cities on the map, but,
Yeah.
there's one area, they got a women's shelter, and I know that there is not 300,000 people in that city. It's just baffles me that this type of thing would be put in a process and hinders a lot of people who do need assistance, who needs that help. You know, People that are running away from a domestic violence situation and they are not native and they don't know anything about our program, which also helps native and non-native. It doesn't matter what color of the medicine wheel you come from. We can assist you with assistance. And then they want to pretty much diminish, the help that's out there. And a lot of the programs we do work with are outside of Oklahoma City metro area. And so that's going to put a hardship on a lot of families, not just domestic violence, but, people that are in homeless shelters as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's you would hope and pray that it isn't a monetary thing, which we know it is. It always is. But you know, I think of like, what if somebody in Fonda, or somebody in Custer City, or all these Oakwood, or all these places where are rural communities, and it's already hard enough for them to get out of these situations. To think that they would have to be all the way in Oklahoma City, or like
Yeah.
it's just like you were saying, it's a baffling. Uh, like I still don't understand. What I mean. It's just crazy to me to think that. What could be more important than a life? It's a human problem, and I'm glad that your program is willing to let people know, like, hey, we're still going to be here. We're still going to do our part, and man, I mean, who knows? Maybe your caseload will pick up, or like you just never know the effect. But I know that you are some dedicated individuals, and it's good to see that you all have a common goal in mind, and it never has to do with your situation. You're always willing to go above and beyond for our people, and it takes a special kind of person to take all of that in. So I'm proud of you, brother. I'm real proud of you and your program. um, would you like to maybe explain some of the services that you are able to provide?
Yes, along with our program, we do help with food assistance. We help with gas. We do partner with ICANN, which is able to help with housing. You're running from a domestic violence situation, and you really don't have any resources. You don't have any family to go to. You don't have no friends. You don't have any room for a hotel. But there are programs that we partner with that are able to also help us assist you with some of your basic needs. And also, we do have a few shelters that we partner with, and actually we got quite a quite a few shelters. Can't name them offhand, but I did bring a piece of paper. These are the tribal domestic violence emergency shelters. They got the Cherokee Nation outside of Stillwell, got the Chickasaw Nation office in Ada, Oklahoma, the Comanche Nation down there in Lawton. You got the Citizen Potawatomi House of Hope out in Shawnee. You got the Kaw Nation up there in Newkirk, and also the Osage Nation Counseling Center shelter in Pawhuska, Oklahoma. And also, we all have Seminole Nation out of Seminole, Oklahoma. And also, those are just the native shelters that we are in contact with. But also, we have YWCA, we got Palomar that we collaborate with, and there's a few others, but basically, there is hope out there, and then there is assistance, and this is what we try to provide. Try to get our clients resource that they need to get back on their feet, to have a stable home, to provide things for their families that they are, having their care.
All of that is very important, because like you were saying, these those are and all of these different programs, because if you're from the call nation, it's probably, if you're trying to flee a situation, it's probably not the smartest thing is to go right to the you want to get out of that situation.
Yes.
But another thing that crossed my mind while you were saying all these facilities was it wasn't too long ago that I heard someone say they had been in a basically dealing with domestic violence trauma, like for like 30 plus years. Like they got married when they were young, and they were together until they died. Well, he's still alive, but the lady, you know uh and the son was saying, well, she was from a time when if you had a man that worked and paid the bills and took care of the kids, then you were thought of to have a good man, regardless of whether he was fighting addiction and he came home and whatever domestic violence situation that was going on at home. You really didn't have the tools to be able to get up and just walk away, to be able to just get away. Is there something that you would like to share with maybe some encouraging words about maybe there's somebody watching here today that that can maybe use some words of encouragement on either how to go about it or how to get out of this situation.
Yeah, first and foremost, there is hope for you out there. There is hope for your family members. There is hope. And then all you got to do is reach out. Just that first step, you got to make an effort. And then you take one step, we'll take 10 for you. If you know a family member, reach out to them, let them know. We got our 1-800 number down at the bottom of the screen here. Give us a call. Let's see what we can assist you with. And even if you're out of state, say you're in Montana, say you're in New Mexico, say you're out in California, New York. If you're in a domestic violence situation out there, if you reach out to us, we will see what we can do to get you home. If home is where you want to be, if Oklahoma is your home, if Northwest CNA territory is your home, we can assist with that. Don't be scared to reach out. Don't be scared to pick up that phone and make a call. And we are here to help. That's our main program here, is to help with that. And then you do have assistance. All you got to do when you're ready, you have to be ready, because you can't take one step forward and two steps back.
Yeah.
But we're not going to look down upon you if you do. We're still going to try to, we're going to be here. You call us one day, you decide, maybe, you want to wait a little bit. I don't know what your situation is, but at a later time, we're not going to look, oh, no, we already helped you. No, it's not going to be like that. We're here to help. That's what our program's for. We're here for our people. We're here for the human beings, which is everybody,
Yeah.
you know, and that's who we try to target. There is hope out there, folks, man or woman. This domestic violence, it's pretty bad epidemic. It's not something that you're born with. It's you grow up around it, you see it. Sometimes domestic violence, when you're growing up, they call it generational trauma. You grow up in it and it's normal to you,
Yeah.
and you don't think outside of the box, because every day, or not, maybe not even every day, 2-3 times a week, there is some kind of situation, and then, oh, that's normal. And so as you grow up, you don't see anything wrong with that behavior. And then that's another part of the generational trauma. And also, if that happens, there's a good possibility that your kids are going to learn that, oh, this is the way it's supposed to be. This is normal. This
Mm-hmm.
is everyday life. And then, I hate to say it, some of those kids go out and look for someone that was just like their parents.
Mm-hmm.
The opposite. The daughter looking for someone that's like her father, or the sons that's looking for somebody that's like their mother. And that's normal. And so they pursue it.
Yeah.
And that's a stigma. Uh, we want to get away from that
Yeah.
thought process, that, growing up process, and let them know that, there is help for them as well, you know, and we just try to provide as much help as we can.
That's great. That's great. I feel like you said some very important things. When Bernice was here last week, she had some statistics that were like staggering. Like where Native women, they were like at all the top of the list. Of suffering from more domestic violence. More Native women are killed than any other nationality. It's just, I mean, it's. I remember growing up and. Uh, couple, you just so used to seeing them drunk that when they're out there fighting, like it was comical to us, and then you watch their kids and you watch them struggle, and then you watch their kids, and you just automatically know, like, man, it's got to be tough just to be from that family.
Oh, yeah.
You know, that's why I would try to tell my kids, be good to people. That might be their only time they get to be carefree of any worry. They get to be who they really want to be, because when they get home, you never know what a kid's going through when they got to go home.
No, you really don't.
So I mean, all these things, like I was saying, there was a time in my life where, and I'll be the first to admit it, where I definitely wasn't thinking uh, beyond the situation that was at this, y'all take off, go get drunk, then you come home, and then y'all fight all week, and and that's it. When she asked me, would you like anybody hitting on your daughter? And it never crossed my mind, it never. I thought she was crazy for asking me that. I'll kill her, like they must, ain't no way in hell. Yeah, yeah. Well, then she told me, that's exactly what you're teaching your daughters, is that this is normal. This is, they're going to look for a man just like you.
Yeah.
So, it wasn't long after that I knew I had to step away from this situation. It didn't stop me from being a dad.
Yeah.
It didn't stop me from doing what I had to do to take care of my kids. It made it a little bit harder, but if anything, I felt like that made me more of a man. To be able to walk away from that situation and understand that the longer I stayed there and tried to work things out, the worse things got.
Yeah.
And we used to say, "Oh, it's that good old Indian love." Like that was like one of the things that we would say. It's that good old Indian love.
The
You
harder
get
you hit me, the more you love
yeah,
me.
that you get 10 divorces and then you get married. It was,
Yeah.
it just became like the normal way that people talk. And I love the fact that we have a program that is helping people understand that you don't have to live that way anymore. That's not okay.
Correct.
And us being Cheyenne and Arapaho people, we need to put that woman back where she belongs. No man can ever be as high as a woman.
Correct.
So I think that's a very important lesson that we got to teach our youth. Teach them as young as we can. That because they have that direct connection to the Creator, and they're able to give life. I think that's a teaching that I had to wait till I was 40 years old
Yeah.
to remember that again. And I just can't imagine how it would have changed my life or my decisions through life. Because I wasn't. Yeah, I made a lot of bad decisions. All the time. So I'm just glad we're able to sit here and talk about these types of
Yes.
things.
That has to be discussed, even for self healing, the things that you go through,
Yeah.
you know, and then also, to put a little sunshine on what you just said, the women are, above us, and correct. That is very true, because we don't have any of our ceremonies without our woman being right there with us,
Yeah.
whether it be the Sundance Lodge or the Sweat Lodge,
Peyote meeting. Yeah.
peyote meetings, their words and their prayers are closer to the Creator, to Mahale, than any man's could ever be.
Yeah.
And then we just need to realize that and slowly start implementing that, because it wouldn't taken away instantly.
Oh yeah.
It was gradually over years, over generations. We're what, the seventh, eighth generation now from,
Yeah.
you know, we'll get into that in another story, but we are so many generations removed from what we were originally, on this earth for. And to put that woman back in that perspective, respect of a woman, there's a lot of things that we couldn't do without, a woman say so. And honoring that tradition, I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure there wasn't any domestic violence back then. I wasn't around then, but
Yeah. You
in
would
my
never.
in my heart, I feel like there wasn't,
Yeah.
because our society structure was very hardcore, and you didn't want to go against the social norm.
Yeah.
And nowadays, domestic violence is almost like a social norm.
Hmm.
Maybe you're not going through it, but like you said, your neighbor could be down the street, could be a couple blocks down. Especially at night, voices carry. You could be sitting in your backyard and just hear 2, 3 blocks over
Yeah.
of what they're going through. And it's disheartening that society had let it come this far. Because, like you said earlier, you know, the social norm that a few generations ago, if a woman had a man that was working, providing and all that, and still there was still domestic violence at the house, you know, that generation was much more, I want to say, unopened than like we are
Yeah.
today. And it's good to talk about things that you go through, and that's part of self healing. Whether you do it in a talking circle, you do it at church, or you become, you know, a volunteer advocate. And what I mean by that, you know, you have somebody come to your house and they're in a situation, and they got to talk to somebody, and you're the person to talk to without knowing that you're an advocate. You are.
Yeah.
And then if you are that advocate, give us a call, give them our phone number, and we'll see what we can change in this new society that we're growing up in. And to say this on top of that, I am very, I'm very glad and very proud that Tor has this podcast. Because we can reach out to a lot more audiences, especially within our own tribe.
Yeah. Local.
Yes, local, extended. Like I said, we operate in 11 counties, Northwest Oklahoma, and somebody in Woodward may need our services. Somebody out in Hammond may need our services. You know, out there in Visay, if you guys know where Visay is,
Oh
that's
yeah.
way out there. That borders Texas.
Yeah. There's tribal members out there though.
Yes. And so, yeah, just like to put it out there, give us a call. Let's see what we can help you out with. Let's get you to a safe place. Let's get you start back to self healing. We do partner with a lot of programs. If you're in a domestic violence situation and you are, uh, using drugs, we partner with Tor. We
Yes.
collaborate with each other. You know, I'm not going to say no first name basis, but I will get to collect the information that Barry has, and I'll pass it along. And maybe sometime in the future, you can give Barry a call.
Definitely.
You don't even have to mention that you got it from us.
Yeah. Yeah. That. I mean, these partnerships. I mean, they go a long ways.
Yeah.
A long ways, and just building that trust. I've known Nathan since I was a kid.
We were kids.
Yeah.
Try to make it sound like I'm 10 years older than you.
Well, he was a man child. Yeah, Nathan was a man child. But I remember. So it just feels great. It feels great to see you doing what you're doing. I mean, we need that. That's what our people need. And then, like I was saying, it's just not women out there.
Yes.
There's also men, that are in when that ante gets out of hand, and it's probably happened more often than not. So just you just never know until what you qualify for with this program. And even if, like he was saying, even if they're not able to assist you directly, they can definitely get you on the right path. I mean, I think that's more important than anything is,
Oh, yeah.
in kind of like the field that we're in, you never want to tell anybody no. I think that's, they're already having trouble just even trying to process the situation
Yes.
and what step is next. Like you were saying, it's a crisis. It's a crisis. And I think that's where, maybe in that domestic violence crisis, that's why it's so easy for them to turn to drugs and alcohol.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like it's a deadly cycle. And I hope that Tor can step up and do their part in trying to help our people heal. And I know that that's your office's goal too.
Yes.
So
Definitely.
it's great to find some teammates and to be on the same page and understand that we have some problems out there, but let's start talking about solutions now. Let's get together and see what we come up with, because you never know. I you know like with what's about to happen with this shelter.
Yes.
With that whole thing, I mean, that's got to be tough. That's got to be tough. But like I was saying earlier, I have all the faith that the creator is going to find a way. He's going to find a way. Beyond any money, beyond any, anybody having to say so. I mean, to me, the creator has the last word. And for that, I have all the faith in the world that positive things are going to happen for you and your program. It that takes a lot. That takes a lot. What else was there anything else that we were gonna?
I'm pretty sure there is, but there's a few things I can read off.
Oh yeah, go ahead,
You know,
brother.
I
Go
got
ahead.
just to let you guys know that our 1-800 number right there, 1-833-488-4887. It's our 24-hour hotline. We've got a few outreaches that are coming up this month. You know, uh, today out at Lahi, you know, at Canton, Oklahoma, and also from 1 to 3, which is going on now. You're almost 10 minutes late, but we're 10 minutes till. We got our victim services out there. Tuesday, 21st, we're conjoining with Lie Heap Outreaches, up there in Woodward from 10 to noon. And then also 1 to 3 at Sealing ERC. And also, they're going to be there for Elders Night Out, which I believe you guys were
Yeah,
joining with you guys.
yeah,
Yeah.
we will be there.
And then the next day, Wednesday, the 22nd, Department of Health Lunch and Learn. We're also going to be at Concho ERC. And then Thursday, the 23rd, we're going to be with the mobile medical unit, out in Canton, from 10 a.m. to noon. And that's where a few of our advocates will be there handing out information, giving it out, letting you guys know, reach out to us. Give us a call. And, today or this month is January. We're doing the Stalking Awareness Month, just giving information out on, stalking in general, whether somebody's sitting outside of your house in their vehicle, they're following you around, they're giving you unwanted gifts. Those are a few signs that hey, you're being stalked. And then, our services, we provide, victim services. It covers all areas of, domestic violence, sexual assault, stalking, teen dating violence, harassment. We cover a whole lot of things, but just give us a call and we'll see what we can assist you with. We're here to help.
Well, that's great. Like we was saying earlier about the teen violence thing, that's an actual thing,
Yeah,
Uh, like they always say, hurt people hurt people.
that's true.
And like I was saying earlier, I said I remember when this girl
Oh,
bit my nose and made both of my eyes black. And then I ended up having 4 kids with her. So yeah, that could have ended. But I know it's a real thing, and I can't imagine anybody else's kids having to think that type of behavior is normal. So I'm glad to see the effort that your office is putting out there. I love to see that you're trying to find a solution, for something that's been happening way too long. This isn't our way. As Cheyenne and Arapaho people, that isn't our way. So I love the fact that we're trying to get back to where we may never get back to where we were, but we can at least have the conversation of what it was like for our people then. And that I feel like just that conversation alone will put things into a new perspective.
yes.
So I want to thank you, brother, for all that you do. I want to say, I just want to encourage your office to keep doing what you're doing. I mean, you never know the effect that you can have on a person just by saying that everything's going to be okay. Just reach out and, you'll at least be able to plant some seeds.
Correct.
So I think that's very important in what you do. So, you know, y- are y'all going to come back next week?
I'm not sure. I'll have to look at our schedule,
Okay,
but we'll definitely get a hold out, go a hold of you guys and reach out.
definitely. I mean, where we're at. I think it's a very important subject that needs to be talked about more. Like you were saying about that stigma.
Hmm.
Let's have these conversations. Let's start talking about some healing. So once again, my brother Nate with domestic violence services, uh,
Victim services.
just victim
Yeah, just
services.
victim services, because
Okay.
we cover a lot of,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, victims of crime.
I don't know. We were calling them yeah, we was calling y'all DV, but it's just VS, huh?
Yeah, victim
Victim
service.
services. All right. Well, thank you for correcting me on that. Uh, but yeah, the number is down there on the bottom. Don't be afraid to reach out. You never know until you know. You know what. Just this might be the message that you need to hear that something needs to be done.
Yes.
So with that, I just want to thank you again, brother. We're here. Whoever else wants to come out, from the office, let them know that this isn't a hard thing to do. When you're passionate about what you do, it kind of just rolls off the tongue. So, uh,
I thank and appreciate you guys for having this available for us to get this information out. And it's a blessing that we are able to do this on social media, not only on social media but also other platforms. Like I believe you're on YouTube as
yeah,
well,
YouTube.
and it's amazing. We'll be able to reach out to a bigger target audience than just word of mouth or just flyers, because not everybody sees our flyers that we
Yeah,
put out, and it's some information just goes on by.
yeah,
But with this platform, it's really awesome. Give us a chance to speak our voice, to let everybody know what our programs are here for, and to reach out to us. And I really appreciate your time and letting me sit down on your couch and
yeah. We appreciate. You all are always welcome. You know, I feel like we have great. I always like just the thought of what this can create for our community.
Yes.
You know, so I want to say thank you again. You know, for trusting us with your message. You know, that means a lot to us. To see that somebody thinks we're doing something right, you know, something right around here. But you know,
Yeah,
thanks again, brother. Y'all are always welcome back.
I appreciate it.
So with that, you know, like, share, follow. Uh, you know, we appreciate all the tune everybody that tuned in. I didn't get to read so many messages, but you know, we appreciate all the interaction, and we will see you tomorrow. I hope.
Oh.